Yeah, I mean, the second guy of the game hits a home run, and then I don't know how many after that. It was, I think, 14, John said, in a row after that. So just pitched really, really well. And, the pickoff helped again to get through that inning. So he continues to just do an excellent job and, put us in position to win games.
You mentioned the pickoff move. What is it about his particular way of doing it that seems to catch runners so long time?
It's just deception. He's got a couple different deliveries. He's worked on it a lot. You want anything else? Is that good? That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it works. Drew Pomeranz is okay? Drew Pomeranz, you guys went out to check on him?
Yeah, he had some lower back tightness. He was a little stiff coming out of the game, so we'll have to check on that one.
3 low-scoring games in a row. Do you feel like you have to be on edge a little bit more in the games like these because one decision, one move could make a difference?
Yeah, I mean that's part of the schedule. I think you expect to play close games. We're not gonna play 8-3 games, every day. Our guys are, the bullpen, the defense, base running today. You count on those things. You try to have different clubs in your bag, so to speak, to help you win games like that, and you expect it to happen.
We've talked about Valencia's development quite a bit, but for him to come out on the 3rd day in a row, what'd you think of that and how he looked today?
Yeah, I mean, look, Daniel's doing a heck of a job. I mean, he's really, we taken a big step forward just in kind of everything about how he's going about it. He came in today and, felt really good. We pushed him pretty hard, but in terms of trying to get an answer, making sure he was okay, but adamant he felt great today, and pitched really just clean 9th inning and pumping strikes on a tough day to hit, and it's the way you go about it.
Dansby maybe has had some stretches where things haven't gone entirely the way he wants them to, but what's it say about him that he can still come up with some really big hits?
Well, it's what power does for you, right? It's like, we didn't have a 2-out homer when there's no rally going, and I think it's been a strength of this team, just the power kind of throughout the lineup that lets you put a run on the board without much going on. I think that was homer 13, so 13 from your shortstop in the middle of June. That's pretty darn good.
Matthew, when you give up a home run early like that, what's the click there? Like, is it physical? Is it mental that changes right away that people get back on track?
I mean, you just go keep pitching, right? That's just whether it's a home run or a walk or even a strikeout, something good. You just continue to go out and, keep doing what you expect of yourself, when the ball's in your hand. And McCutcheon's a really good hitter, and it's made a little bit of a mistake, and he was ready for it. So hats off to him there, but yeah.
The work that you put in on your pickoff move, can you describe from spring training to now, maybe what you?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really done anything different in terms of work. It's always been something I've put a focus on, to the point that I was taught my move by a guy named Marquee head coach at Bellevue Community College and out in Bellevue, Washington, where I live, when I was 9 years old. And each spring, I go back and I work with him on it. Last year, when I was rehabbing, I was throwing my live BPs there, so I spent a little more time working with him on it. But Tommy's been awesome being a lefty as well. Just having a little tip here, and I think as over the course of the year, it's something that you just want to stay sharp on. You don't want to fall into weird patterns on, and Tommy, also being a lefty, has had a great eye for it, and he's given me some tips going through, and Flash has been awesome in calling picks over from the bench, and it's been just, they've had awesome opportunities and pockets that go after it, and it's worked out.
So what, at 9 years old, or are you just picking off guys left and right?
Yeah. The guy that taught me it, Mark, he used to joke. He goes, if you don't like someone, you just hit them and pick them off, because it's that good sort of thing. So, yeah. I'm not going to try that at the big league level, but yeah, it's been something that's been, always had in my, career ever since I was little.
You were when you were 9 years old, that strategy?
No, my dad was my coach, so he would. We weren't trying to hit people on purpose, but if you did walk them, it was always nice to have that tool in your tool belt.
Man, you were pretty good yourself last start when you had to pick off that went long. Is it nice when the situation presents itself the next time you take the mound, where
Yeah.
you can kind of not take advantage of what happened last time, but
Yeah.
just get another opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way where I'm at, and something that's kind of been an area of growth of me, is just like you want to err on the side of like being aggressive, right? You don't want to err on the side of being tentative. So I've got my move, and it's a little unorthodox, and if I'm gonna miss with it, that sometimes that happens, but doesn't mean I'm not gonna go do it again, right? Mistakes happen, and that's okay. You learn from it, and you don't let it affect the next time you go out.
Is there an actual responsibility that guys like you and J-Mo take when you two top starters go down? Is there a conscious effort to do more, or just be the pro that you always are?
No, there's no. My job is my job, whether it's pitching, in a rotation with the guys that are in it right now, or the guys that were in on opening day, or any other, those things don't change what I do. Always welcome those guys back. Shota and Steely, they're amazing talents, and they make our team better when they're on the field. And those times will come when they both do come back, but doesn't change what J-Mo and I do when it's our turn to pitch. We know what we're asked, we know what we expect of ourselves when the ball's in our hands, and circumstances don't change that.
You're 6-0 with a 2.25 ERA here at home this season. What do you enjoy most about pitching in this atmosphere?
Oh man, pitching at Wrigley is really special. Getting to play in this environment, every outing, you go out there. There's so much energy from the fans. It feels like a playoff type outing, and it's. I'm really grateful to call it home right now. And anytime you get to pitch at home, it's special. So, getting to pitch in the atmosphere and with the history and just everything that makes Wrigley, words really can't put it, to describe it. But everyone knows that it is a special place. It's fun to get to pitch here.
Yeah, with the pickoff move, have you spent time over the years trying to find that threshold of, right to the edge of where that would be called a balk, and trying to?
I wouldn't say you don't want to find there's no edge. It's the same move, right? And you go out there and you pick, right? And that's, I think, for me, if I didn't pick anybody else off the rest of the year, but it kept them a step closer to the base and they didn't steal a base, it'd be a win, and that's kind of the point of it, right? It's not the move in and of itself. It's just the things that you can have and the impact on the game. If you can keep him a step closer, so on a ball that's a little bit in the gap, but one of our outfielders cuts it off, and that keeps him at second base as compared to having a first and third situation, that's a small win in the margin right there. Who knows what, maybe a fly ball on the next pitch keeps a run instead of, letting a sac fly come in, or, we're keeping him there so a double play's in order as compared to letting him, letting a guy steal second. So if you get an out, it's a bonus. That's a cherry on top. But, it's just the goal is you just playing the game sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Is there a psychological benefit for you when you go out there knowing the defensive players behind you on this team?
I think it's just a ton of confidence in those guys, knowing they're back there. Today, Dansby, made some great plays. Pete made some amazing plays. Carson was amazing behind the plate. I really didn't have my best stuff, but he was out there making he was keeping guys off balance with his pitch calling, working the ball in and out, recognizing swings, recognizing what they were doing, and I can't give enough credit to him. And like he really got me through it today, and that was, those guys all around you give you a ton of confidence. Go out there and just compete with whatever you have.
After those first two bats, how good did it feel to kind of get a hold of one in the third time up?
Yeah, the first couple of bats just felt like I was missing some good pitches, which can be frustrating in its own right. But yeah, I mean, a big swing in a big situation, and obviously ended up being the difference maker. Just got to give a lot of credit to our pitching staff and defense for just kind of keeping us in there, and being able to come out with a win.
That kid for them got some awkward swings from a bunch of you guys. Was it the changeup, or what did he do that you did?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like kind of had one of those heaters that we were just fouling off all day, and then you kind of put yourself in a little bit of a situation with 2 strikes, and he was really locating his changeup well today. Felt like we got a lot of kind of awkward swings on it. So you got to give him credit for making pitches, but at the end of the day, good for us to be able to get a win.
You'd like to have lopsided wins, but what does it mean to have a tight game like this and come out on top?
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing some really good ball recently. They've been pitching the ball really well, playing defense. They really kind of make you earn your runs, and it's been no different in this series. And fortunately, we've been able to get 2 wins, and tomorrow will be a good day to be able to come out and put together another good effort and get another win. So,
what can you say about Matthew Boyd at this point? I mean, it just seems like a pretty consistent effort every time he goes to the mound for you guys.
Yeah, I think he's just got such pitchability, right? He's got a lot of different ways to get guys out. Whether it's the fastball, the changeup, slider, curveball. It's kind of a little bit of a funky arm slot. He's a true pro in ways that he wants to get guys out. So when he's out there, you got a chance to win the game. He's been really good about controlling the running game as well. He's picked off a couple guys, and he's been awesome for us.
You do a lot of winning type things as an individual player to help your team win when you're not hitting. How much solace do you get out of that? It's not going in one area, but you do so many of the other things to help the team win.
That's a part of it, right? It's a part of this game. There's so many different ways that you can help win games and impact the game. And today it happened to be a home run by me, but we have so many guys who've been able to step up all year and really help this group win. That's why we've had a lot of success. It can come from anywhere in the lineup. It can come from the bullpen. It can come from the starters. So it's just a really fun group to be a part of, and we're just going to keep it rolling.
What do you notice about? What is it about Boyd's pickoff move that you think is so effective? Like, is it just deception, or what is it?
I think it's deception. I think it's just situation dependent. He's just so good at it. He works on it. He worked on it in spring. We worked on it in spring so that he wouldn't pick off the first baseman, and he's just really good. He's got a good feel for it, and he's going to love that. I'm going to mention this. He was, he did some position player stuff at Oregon State, and so he kind of relives his glory days a little bit on the mound by being an athlete. So, he's pretty darn good at it.
He was pretty funny. He said one of his youth coaches taught it to him at like age 9. It's basically the same way.
Yeah, well, he's got a good coach then. That guy, the guy's done some good for him.
Yeah, the game's on the line. It's the 9th inning. There was a man on first, a couple outs, and I was watching. It looked like your pitch comm wasn't working so well. It looked like you were tuning in.
No. I just want to make sure in those situations, obviously, that we're prepared for anything that could happen. And Nico and I were just trying to communicate back and forth on different bag responsibilities and just making sure that we were dialed in so that we could obviously get the third out.
How much does pitch comm helped? You guys, as far as being dialed into the next pitch, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, number one, it obviously keeps the game rolling just because, trust me, I've been a part of a lot of sign sequence stuff with cards, and you're changing the sequence every third pitch, and it makes the game really long. And obviously, the pitch comm has really helped that, and I think it just kind of keeps guys on the same page, understand what pitches come in, and all those kinds of things.
Obviously, it's only one at bat, but getting a hold of one today, does it make you feel a little better going forward about what you can do with the bat?
No, I've learned in this game, you just got to show up every day and do your job. Be prepared to help this group win, whether it's offensively or like I said in the field, running the bases. There's so many different ways to do it, and we take pride in being good at everything and continue to put in the work to be that way. So.
The offense as a whole, how
do you feel like it's responded over these last several series? You know, Skubal, Skeens, Wheeler. There's been like 6 or 7 playoff type starters.
Yeah, I mean,
in a row.
Yeah, I mean it's a really good. I'm not gonna say learning experience, but it's a really good thing for us to be able to go through facing arms like that during this stretch and throughout the year, and finding ways to win, finding ways to get guys on, finding ways to make them work. This game's really hard, and we've done a really good job, I feel like, of just putting at bats on guys and making them work, and it necessarily hasn't shown up in the run column as much, but I just feel like the intent and the preparation has been really good by this group, and it's one of the things that makes this group so good. It's just the ability to make guys work, to compete, and I think that'll be able to pay off for us here in the end.
Can great pitching put a team in a slump, do you think?
I mean, great pitching usually beats good hitting. That's just the nature of this game. That's why you fail 7 times out of 10 and you're pretty darn good. But I think that it's really good for us to be able to go through stretches where we're having to really compete and find ways to win games, because, like I said, at the end of the day, if we have more runs than they do, that's a good thing. And it can happen with a lot of runs. It can happen with few amount of runs. So it's been good for us.